Philip Osteopathy, and today we're going to take you through a quick bike setup which is going to help increase your overall comfort on the bike, help with injury prevention and increase the overall enjoyment of your rides. So when you're on your long rides, you'll be able to get on your bike for longer, be more comfortable and have a much better time on the bike. So let's get started. So now we're going to look at setting up the cleat position on your pedals. So this is probably the most important part of the bike setup, because if your shoe to pedal interface isn't correct, it's going to affect all of the different biomechanics of your pedaling stroke. So what you want to do when you're setting up your shoe initially is to have a neutral position. So we don't want the shoe to be toed in or out. You want to initially set it up to be quite straight. And what we want to look at is when you get your shoes, pop your shoe on, and you want to feel for the medial joint line between your big toe and your first metatarsal. And so if you feel for that, it will be, on my shoe, it's around here, and we mark that. And then you want to feel on the other side for the little toe where that joins onto the metatarsal, and feel for that joint line. And so you feel that and you'll mark that again. And so that will give you two lines across your shoe, and you want to center that on top of the pedal spindle. So now that we've got our joint lines established on the medial side of the shoe and the lateral side of the shoe, what you want to do is to take a line from the medial side across the shoe and mark that on the lateral side of the shoe, and do the same from the lateral side across to the medial side. And so that will give you two lines which are approximately 2 centimeters to 1.5 centimeters apart. And then you want to take a line in the middle of those 2 points, which I've already done here in the middle, and again here in the middle. Okay, and now that we've got our shoe on the pedal, we just want to check that this point here, which we marked in the middle, which is going to be the middle of that joint line, goes over the top of the pedal spindle here, which we can see it is. If it's too far back or too far forward, take the shoe out and then adjust the cleat accordingly. So now we're going to talk about the handlebar setup, the stem length and the stem height. In terms of our handlebar setup, we want it to be a horizontal position is a good starting point, a nice neutral position. To start off with that, you don't want it to be too far forward, too far back. Sometimes that can become uncomfortable. And then what we want to look at in terms of our stem position. So my stem at the moment is quite low down to get a more aerodynamic position on the faster rides. If you're more of a recreational cyclist looking for more comfort, better to have a higher stem position. Takes a lot of the pressure off your back, takes a lot of pressure off your hands in terms of holding the handlebars. Then in terms of stem length, longer stem is going to give you a longer, more aerodynamic position. It's going to compromise handling a little bit, and that's why, again, the recreational cyclists more looking at a shorter stem, generally in a higher position there. And with handlebars, what you're looking for in the drops is you want to be able to fit your hand quite comfortably in this position here. If that's too tight, again, that's going to lead to problems with hands. You might get numbness, tingling in the hands over long rides. Again, that's going to be quite uncomfortable. So in terms of seat position, you want to check your leg angle at the bottom of your pedal stroke, and your leg should be in approximately 145 to 155 degrees of extension. And so if you've got too small an angle, you'll want to raise your seat height, or if your leg is straightening too much, you'll want to drop your seat height. And you should only do this in small increments of approximately half a centimetre at a time to check the correct angle. And then in terms of the seat fore and aft position,
you want to check the knee over pedal spindle. So when your cranks are at horizontal, you want the middle of your knee joint to be on top of the pedal spindles, or approximately 2 to 3 centimeters in front of the pedal spindle. If you're over 3 centimeters in front of the pedal spindle, you want to bring your seat position backwards, or if you are behind the pedal spindle, you'll want to bring your seat position forwards.
Okay, so once our setup's complete, you want to take a few simple measurements of your bike, just in case you want to set up a similar setting on another bike. You lend your bike to a friend, you get it back, everything's changed, and it's just good for record keeping to keep everything the same. So things you want to measure, so the tip of your seat through to your head stem, you want to measure that, record that down. Next one we want to measure is from the centre of your cranks up to the top of your seat. So we want to take that measurement there and then note that down again there. And you should be able to put this across all of your bikes when you take these measurements. And the last one you want to measure is the seat offset here. So your seat rails will have an indication of how far forward or back your seat is. And so take that measurement down, note that, and you'll be able to apply that to all your different bikes.